Hey, did you know that the fashion industry is one of the least sustainable industries on the planet, accounting for about 10% of all global emissions? Well, Ucon Acrobatics did, and they've done something about it. Hello, I'm Roland from Rushfaster, and at Rushfaster we do guides and walkthroughs bringing you better gear and better ways to carry. Today's video is sponsored by Ucon Acrobatics, and I am so glad that we've partnered with this brand because they are really doing some interesting stuff, especially in the sustainability space. Today I have two of their bags from their Lotus Infinity Series, and these are bags that we've seen before. We've featured the Harjo backpack. This is the large variant on videos before. This is the Jasper in the medium, so 23 and 16 liters. But this is in their completely circular, completely recyclable and infinitely recyclable, hence the name, the Lotus Infinity Project, materials. So really interesting stuff. I'm gonna have a quick look at these bags and then we're gonna have a chat to Michael from Ucon Acrobatics because he can explain all of what they're doing in the manufacturing and reduction of waste space much better than I can. But it's really interesting because I don't know about you, but I think life on Earth is pretty awesome. And if we wanna keep it that way, you know, we're gonna need to sort of clean up after ourselves and keep things looking sort of schmick. So it's good to see a brand leading the way on that, providing sort of a proof of concept, if you will, and the blueprint for how this sort of thing can be done. Okay, so let's take a quick look at these bags. So both of these bags are minimalist, sort of do-it-all backpacks. Obviously you've got the roll top there, so good for the bike, but then they're also quite sleek and streamlined, so they're gonna be fine for EDC. On both bags you get a latch closure. These are made from iron and they feel really weighty and sturdy. I like the use of iron, it's just interesting. A few external pockets. The larger one here has the water bottle pockets or umbrella pockets, multiple ways to access the main compartment, shoulder straps, back padding, grab handles, some internal organization in the form of stretch pockets, as well as this internal water bottle holder, and then a whole lot of space to carry your everyday load. Now, the most interesting thing about both of these bags is, of course, that material, being that it is recycled and can continue to be recycled. You see, normal production would be linear, so that means that you use it and then it's done, and then recycled production would be that it was used and then recycled and then it was over. But circular production means it can be used, recycled, and recycled ad nauseum and to infinity and in perpetuity. So you can just keep using it. So what does it feel like? Well, it feels pretty good. They feel like polyurethane, which is what they're made out of. So they're actually 51% polyurethane and 49% polyester. So completely recycled and made from post-consumer textile waste and then dope dyed. They are very smooth. The internal material is also 100% recycled, that's polyester. And the cushioning and also all of the webbing is also 100% recycled polyester. Recycled polyesters and recycled polyurethanes and nylons and all the recycled materials have really, I feel like just in the past year, much improved. They feel much more natural. They also feel, they don't feel, I mean, Cordura is a nylon, so it's not like we're not used to nylons or sort of plasticky materials, but the recycled ones in the past I have found have felt sort of second rate. That's not the case anymore. These are quite good and I think worth checking out. Of course, they come in a range of different models, a range of different colors and sizes. And then they also have some waist bags as well in the Infinity Series. And as you will find out when we chat to Michael from Ucon, they are trying to transition more and more products to this Infinity Series, which means more circular production. So it's really exciting. I tip my hat to them and I think that it's really good that we got a company showing the way. So let's have a chat to Michael and see what he has to say. Hi Michael, thanks for joining us here at Rushfaster. It's a pleasure to have you. I'm very keen to talk all things Ucon and the Lotus Infinity Series. But first, can you tell us about how Ucon Acrobatics got started?
Great to be with you talking about Ucon. What's perhaps special about Ucon Acrobatics is that we are around for a very long time. So it's been more than 20 years already. And the brand started as a clothing brand and Martin and Jochen started this. Over this time, the whole brand evolved. And at one point they tried launching some bags and this was really successful. And then the strategy was, okay, we just switch into bags and go away from clothing. With the backpacks, we were really able to focus on one specific product and to try to always make this better and better over time. We're very happy to be here right now and to be able also to launch our own materials and our own ideas.
And speaking of materials, you use a lot of recycled and sustainable materials. Can you talk to me a little bit about the mission statement behind Ucon Acrobatics?
The idea was always to be a brand which has a minimal impact and does so by minimal design. The decision was always, how do we create something with as little waste as possible? And then the idea was, okay, how can we actually recycle items with our products? And this is how the whole recycling from the PET bottle started. We said, okay, we can do more than this. It's not only about the bottle, but there must be some other approaches. And so we launched material after material where we said, okay, we're not only looking at the outside material, which most brands look at, but we also look at what's happening inside, what's happening in the different layers of the product. And so this is where we went ahead and created our custom materials. And so we just launched the Lotus Infinity material, but before that we launched the alloy material, which is also 93% recycled. Then before that we launched the Phantom material, which is the material which reflects also at night, and this is also highly recycled. And in a way, you're only able to work with these materials which are so highly recycled and have the special features if you're really working on a material from the very beginning. We really go into all the different tiers of production. And this is a bit the difference to a lot of other brands, because in the CO2 consumption and in all of the bad things happen usually in the material production.
Yeah, you mentioned then some of the steps that the company has taken to contribute to a more circular production process. You also mentioned the Lotus Infinity Series, which is what we're looking at today. And I was just wondering, could you perhaps explain for us the process of recycling textile waste and how it's utilized in the production of the Lotus Infinity Series?
So what's special about the Lotus Infinity Series and what's not really being done right now in our industry is that you use textile waste and create new yarn out of this. And out of this new yarn, you create the material which is being used. A lot of brands now work with the recycled PET bottles. But the problem here is the recycled PET bottles are actually from a different industry. So they're from the beverage industry. And it's actually the responsibility of the big brands in the beverage industry to take care of their own bottles. So what's happening here is that a lot of these bottles go into different industries. This means that actually the beverage industry again creates new bottles because they don't have enough bottles to recycle, which is a bit of a crazy situation. And with the whole circular approach, you say every industry takes care of their own waste. And in the textile industry, what happened is the biggest percentage, especially in fast fashion, which is being used is actually polyester. It's not being recycled in a meaningful way right now. So what happens is that most of this is being dumped into land yards or is being burned at the end. And so we said, okay, this is one of the biggest problems because textile industry is one of the biggest emittents of CO2. And we said, okay, what can we do as a part of this industry? And this is how we said, okay, there needs to be an approach where you can use this textile waste instead of plastic bottles. And this is what we worked on several years now. And this is now in a prototype phase. And these are still pilot factories that are doing this. So what's happening is basically they take textile waste with a certain percentage of polyester in there. So they can reuse this. They can create new yarn out of this. They break it down in a process where basically this can be then reused, and we use this at the end of the day. We think that this is something which can be the evolution of the old textile waste. And so we want to be in this pioneering stage and also inspire others to do this and to work actually with this material which already exists. We are on this road to circularity in a way where we say, okay, if we can hit certain points where we say more than 80% of the backpack are a mono material, that this backpack in itself can then again be recycled. So it can stay in this cycle all the time. Problem right now in this regards of recycling again the backpacks is that there's not yet a meaningful system like with the bottles where you can just give them back and it's being recycled. With all these big problems, there always need to be some people who move ahead and inspire also others. And so that's what we're trying to do here.
Firstly, good on you for doing that. I think that's just fantastic. You're right, you're absolutely leading the way, and the products don't suffer at all, and they feel great. I love the feeling of all the Ucon bags that I've played with. I think they feel really, there's still that sort of really natural feel to them. They move in really pleasing ways. So there's no sacrifice there, and you say that it's more expensive, but the prices of Ucon, I think, are very competitive for what you're getting. I mean, I was blown away when I shined some light on the Phantom bag and it lit up. I thought that was just so brilliant.
I think there's always some things you can do, like in the way you design materials, which gives them another meaning and a better approach is possible with this. We're also looking at the way the foams are being done, like because all the backpacks have like boards and foams inside to give them a form, basically. And this is, in reality, most of the cases, this is just done completely new. So this is like the worst scenario like you can have like in a production if you want to hit circularity. And we said, okay, you can rethink this. Why not actually compress the material and create the foam like in a way out of textile waste, because it's like actually super comfortable, but nobody's be doing this.
Looking ahead, you're planning to transition your entire production process to this circular manufacturing.
That's a big plan. We say, no, we want to actually change all the foams with this material in all the lines and use this material everywhere. And right now we need to achieve a certain scale to be able to do this. And so this is like now line by line by line. So the next lines we're going to change significantly is like the lower line or the Phantom line, where we also already have this custom material. And so this is like step by step by step. We want to be a very straightforward, change as much as possible, as fast as possible.
And the last question I'll ask you is, what are the plans for 2024 in terms of product launching? Have you got any special releases? Can you give us any hot scoops?
Hot scoops. I mean, we're trying to expand this Lotus Infinity Series to as many models as possible. So this is happening, and what we're also going to do, and what Ucon Acrobatics is a bit known for, is like different colors. So we're going to release a lot of different colors and a lot of different styles. And we're creating now also from this Phantom material, which is something we want to focus more and more. We're going to release several bike related bags. And we also worked on a pannier system where you can easily fix the main bags of ours to the two bikes. So this is also a big topic. And we're going to expand a bit more in this travel segment where people need bags for longer trips. And so this is also something we're working on. What is also like a focus for us is obviously to work more together with this material partners we have. We have like this Blue Sign partnership where we say, okay, we want to have more suppliers which are in this different, follow these different rules, and that we get more and more into this world of this circularity. We want to take decisions in every single aspect where we basically focus on how can we make this better, how can we change this. And this is not only for this material, but also like from a social entrepreneurship standpoint out. We're also like a B Corp, and we're also like constantly trying to get better in this course. So
you're definitely leading the way, and I've enjoyed a lot all of the Ucon products that I've been playing with recently. So thank you for sending them, and I really cannot wait to see what you come up with, especially in the travel space. I think that's going to be really interesting, and then this transitioning to the circular material, I think, is really clever, really exciting, and just really bold as well. So I tipped my hat to you, sir. Thank you so much for joining us on Rushfaster. It's been a pleasure to talk to you.
Thanks for having us, and I really hope that we can share with you a lot of the new news soon.
So there you go. I found that really interesting, and I hope you did as well. It just goes to show that you can change the world. You can. Just got to sort of like show everyone else the way sometimes, and that's exactly what they're doing. There are links below to these two bags, as well as everything else in the Infinity series below, so check those out. Make sure you subscribe to our channel. Make sure that you subscribe to our newsletter so you can find out all about the latest carry gear, deals, and everything that's happening in the carry world, and win some of those giveaways that we do from time to time. And consider some circular manufacturing from Ucon Acrobatics for your next pack. That's all for this video. My name is Roland from Rushfaster. These have been Ucon Acrobatics Lotus Infinity Series bags. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.